Alright, today I'm going to be making some beef jerky, and what I got here is a bunch of pieces that I've already cut off the fat and silver skin, but you can see one of the pieces here. This one was actually really hard to cut up, so I'm just going to throw this in the crock pot. So all the pieces that are really hard to cut up, they're just going in the crock pot. This one could probably be cleaned up pretty well, but I've cleaned them all up. I'm not sure if it's 5 pounds. The seasoning that I'm using is this LEM Backwoods jerky seasoning, and it came with a Cajun pack, jalapeno, cracked pepper, and teriyaki. I believe I got the teriyaki left. Here it is, and it's got the instructions on the packet, and it asks for 5 pounds of meat. And I'm not sure how much water you add in there, but you guys can do that on your own. I'm just showing you guys how I do it, because a lot of people like to use their own seasonings, but I add a little bit of my own, such as the garlic powder, some spicy Montreal steak seasoning. I'm not sure if anyone does that who makes jerky, but I do. I like the taste of it. Some crushed red pepper to give it more spice, and some herbal seasoning. You guys can buy whatever and add accordingly. There's no manuscript for this, so you guys can do it on your own. And as you can see, here's the bowl of everything that I cut up. I'm just gonna give that to my dog. Sure, I can like throw this in the crock pot, do whatever. I'll probably keep that piece for the crock pot. But yeah, all these little pieces, I think my dog will just love it. So that's going to him, and maybe to the cats too. I have over here my meat grinder. Okay, so I'm gonna cut up these strips of meat into smaller chunks. That way they get more seasoning in them. It's just what I do. Like I said, you guys can cut it up any way you want. This is just how I like to do it. Found some fat on there, so I'll cut that off. That way it's less stuff I have to clean up when it's going through the grinder, because the plate on the grinder will get pretty clogged up if you got a bunch of nerve and fatty tissue on there. So I try to avoid that as much as possible. But as you guys can tell, this is pretty good lean meat, so it should be fine. Alright, so I'm going to take the meat, place it into a bowl or container, whatever you guys want to put it in. I'm putting it in this pot just because I already got it dirty, so I just washed it out. And I don't have to clean up such a big mess. Now, the directions call for 5 ounces of water. I'm not sure how much that is. I'm eyeballing it. So you guys probably shouldn't do that, but that's what I'm doing. Probably too much there. Alright, then you take your seasoning packet, cut her open. Should be a cure packet in there too, so just pour it into the meat. There's my cure packet. And just mix it around in there. Just want it to coat all the meat as much as possible. I'll go ahead and add the cure so I don't have to mix it 2 times. I'm not going to add the whole cure packet just because this is going to get eaten pretty quick, and I don't need all that in my meat unless I'm going to be storing a bunch for a long time. Plus the cure probably isn't too good for you health wise, so I'll just mix this. So after you get done mixing the meat, you're going to want to let it sit in the fridge for about 8 hours. That way it'll coat the meat and do whatever process it needs to do. I'm not sure what that is, but that's what the directions call for in the packet. I may have added too much water, but it'll be alright. Before I put it in the fridge, I'll add just a little bit of the salts now. I'll add more of them whenever I'm grinding it, putting it through the processor. Now, like I said, you guys can add as much as you want. This is more of a preference taste type of thing. However you want to say it. Alright. Alright, next step in the process, I got the meat that was sitting out for 8 hours with the teriyaki seasoning. We're going to put this through the meat grinder and see how well it'll grind up. I oiled up the plate and the blade like I said before, and yeah, let's try it. We'll have to clean it out a few times because this is a cheap grinder and the excess nerves are going to get stuck in there and it won't pump out the meat. But let's get this started, guys. Next step in the process, I got this little, I don't know what it is, it's like a Mexican tortilla smasher. Just goes like that. Put your flour or whatever, however you make like a tortilla, smash it down. It's like a little mini tortilla. I don't know what they call it, like a gordita, something like that. But I grabbed this plastic bag, or this bag, whatever you want to call it. And then I pull it apart like that. So just kind of ripped it open. This little Ziploc bag. That way the meat don't stick. And this is kind of the dirtiest part of the process, I think. I'm gonna try it. I haven't tried this little gordita smasher or whatever it's called. I might have to use a tortilla smasher. And if I'm not using the correct terms, I apologize. But so grab some of this, grab some of your ground meat, and then turn it into a ball, similar to if you're making meatballs, and then put it in the smasher. Like I said, this is going to be like a sticky paste all over your hands. smash her down. And this is my first time trying this, so we'll see how this works. Bam. And right there, it looks really thick, but it's gonna cook down. So, I should have grabbed the trays from the dehydrator, but I guess I'll wash my hands and do that now. Okay, so I know that looks a little thick. Rid of my finger. But it's gonna cook down because all the juice is gonna get out of there. And then you just slap them on there and continue the process. So again, meatball. And yeah, this is like a sticky paste. Even if you do the ground meat with the processing cure, it'll break it down kind of into a paste, but that's what you want. You want that tenderness. So we'll continue. I'll show you guys a couple more times. Probably could have used a little bit more meat there, but that's all good. And continue placing them on the tray. Kind of leave them a little spaced out so the heat will get through there. You don't want them clumped up together. So they don't stick to the metal. Yeah, I think you can use wax paper too, but I don't have any of that. But yeah, you can see how bad it sticks to the hands. Okay, so I got the dehydrator ready. I put it on 4 hours, but it'll probably go for like 5 or 6, and I'm gonna let it go probably around 148, 155, and that's just because of how much this thing heats up. I don't know what you guys should cook it at, maybe 140, 150, 160, but going off of this dehydrator that I got off eBay years ago, just because 140 kind of seems like 130 to me. But I'm gonna add some garlic salt to these patties and see if they turn out better than the rest. I'm not gonna add anything to the rest of them. Add a little bit of black pepper. That's a lot, but we'll see. Just a little bit. Sprinkle it over. Don't get as much as I did on those two. So I'm going to put this one on the top rack so I know which one's the over-flavored jerky. Apparently you don't want to go in there. Continue placing the trays in the jerky maker. Actually, I'm going to separate these from each other, because that just makes more sense to me. I only came up with 3 trays because I made it so thick. I made the patties thick, so I didn't get a bunch of thin strips. And like I said, this is all based on your preference and how you like the jerky cooked. I like a lot of salt in there and a lot of flavor. You guys may not. So there's no exact way to do this as long as you follow certain rules and guidelines as far as the temperature and how long you do it for. There we go. Alright, so I got the trays in there. Make sure they're all shut right. And then I'm going to start the jerky. And I'll be back to show you guys. what we got. Alright, we're 2 hours in. Pull these out, see what they look like. And probably flip them. That way they can cook evenly on both sides. Let it go a little bit longer though, or else I'm going to rip them apart. Alright, so I finished making the jerky, and here's the salted piece. They're the salted pieces that I added extra black pepper and garlic powder to. I'll have to try that out later. But I basically let it go for about 5.5 hours, and what I do is, you know, around 4 hours I started splitting it open and feeling the inside, and about 4 hours is still like pink and mushy in the inside, but I kind of realized it was done once it was a darker red color, like a maroon, and it was a little harder on the outside, but it's pretty soft on the inside, so that's kind of what I wanted. Just wanted I didn't want really flat, hard pieces, more of a tender bite. But yeah, I'm gonna start bagging it up, and we'll be done here. And like I said, there's no set way to do this. I mean, there probably is. I'm sure there is. But for me, I just kind of looked on forums and YouTube videos and just took bits and pieces and kind of put together my own method using what I had, just because I don't really have money at the time to buy the tube and the expensive industrial grinders, so just doing what I can. Alright, thank you guys, and if you can, comment at the bottom, let me know what I'm doing wrong, or let me know what you guys think if you end up trying this on your own, and please like and subscribe. Thank you.